Red dot. Back. We are live. We are live, America. Segment 3. IDD, for those of you who know, I don't disagree. Is a slugger bound Saturday. Dollar one, being a good dad, playing the dad role this weekend. That is Lawdog in the hizzy.
What's
Highly
up?
questionable one. Segment 3. All things college basketball recap. Lawton'S greatest of all time. Quick recap. Boston does win a 111-101 to even the season series with LA at 1 apiece. Tatum led everybody 40-12, rebounds, 8 assists. Luka 34-8-3 for the losers. LeBron 22-14, flirted with a triple-double 9. Jaylen Brown 31. So the stars showed up. No Porzingis again tonight for Boston. But Boston, I think this was more important for Boston, believe it, to win this game than the Lakers. Lakers beat them in LA, and they didn't have Luka. Now, they had Anthony Davis, but they didn't have Luka. But the point is, LA knows they can play with Boston. Can they beat them? That's another story. But they can hang with them, certainly. Luka, while he doesn't, he loses on the defensive end of Davis. He's the better offensive player, so it's kind of a trade-off. But it's a different trade-off, meaning LA is a different team. I'm not saying they're better or worse. That team with those two won a title in 2017. It remains to be seen if these two can do that. But and to be fair, that was 8 years ago. LeBron was a little bit younger. But nonetheless, they are a threat. They're a legitimate threat. And I'm pretty sure, barring injury to one of these two, they're going to get the 2 seed in the West, which makes them a contender. Okay, and I'm telling you right now, they're gonna. If barring injury, they're in the conference final against OKC. I'd be shocked if it wasn't those two if things stay the way they are.
Yeah.
And when I say, here's the thing about the way they are, there's 19 games still to be played. That's plenty of time for James and Luka to continue to tweak this and make it even better. So I don't know what the ceiling is for this Laker team.
Right.
But I would tell you right now, they're at least going to be in the conference finals.
Oh, yeah.
Which makes them a contender to me.
Yeah.
And if these two...
They're in the mix, man. And when you didn't think they would be.
If these two in any way improve, which I think is possible, then the Celtics are going to need Porzingis to beat them.
Right.
It's that simple. That's where I think they are, and that's with the loss tonight. Now, Boston jumped out 20-something point lead eventually after fucking around for a quarter and a half. But then Boston does what they does now against everybody, so I can't. It's everybody. If they're up 20, forget it. Okay, now look, LA's a good team. They fought back. They got it to 4.
Right.
It was a game with 4 minutes to go. That's a game. So before Boston finally held them off. James got injured in the fourth quarter, groin. Hopefully it's not serious. So he did not return when Boston was up 7 or 8 with the ball.
Yeah.
So we don't know what would have happened had he stayed. Boston was up 8 with the ball, but there was still 4 minutes to go. So who knows? But anyway, they get the win. They're both comfortably, well, actually Boston is more comfortably because New York doesn't have Brunson for the next 2 weeks.
Yeah.
We were talking about this off air a lot, and I. What are the chances that New York ends up with the 3 seed right now?
Depends on Brunson. If he's out, they might slide down.
He's out 2 weeks.
Yeah, they might slide down to the 4th or 5th spot.
There's not a big gap.
Right. Yeah.
In terms of games, right? If you look, and we did, okay, at this. Let me just pull it up again.
Can Cat carry the squad is really the question.
I don't know. Let me see. What is that? Oh, Swanky. No, it's not the Swanky. He thought it was the Swanky. What is this garbage? Dumb, and dumb. Hauser blows. That's my buddy Ian. He goes, his comments are dumb, and dumb.
Dumber.
And then Hauser blows.
Hey, man.
That's Ian Skinner. One day you'll meet this guy. You'll love him.
Yeah,
he's a diehard Celtics guy. And he knows his shit. Ian, I don't know when you put that in there, but I'm pretty certain it's spot on. But anyway, I was trying to get to the current standings in the Eastern Conference of the NBA.
Celtics are what, 10 games back?
They're 6 games, 6.5 back at Cleveland. They're not going to catch
bad.
Cleveland. They're not catching. Cleveland's just healthy. If Cleveland got injured, who knows? But Boston hasn't gotten injured, so I mean they've been healthy. So if they stay healthy, Boston's not catching them. If we go with the standings right now, currently, as things stand, it's Cleveland at 53-10. Boston is 7.5 back, 46-18. Then you've got New York at 40-23. Milwaukee is 3.5 back at 16.5. Indiana is 4 back at 17.5. So he's out 2 weeks.
That could change a lot in the middle.
That's 3 weeks of games.
Listen, Pistons don't want to see.
And the Pistons are 5 games.
They don't like that.
But they're 5 games out.
Right.
So New York is not wrapped up.
Yeah. No, they have not.
At all.
No.
And there's a better than average chance they end up 5 or 6.
Mm-hmm.
Because to your point, Brunson's out 2 weeks. Well, he may be out in 2 weeks, but he's not going to come back and be prime Brunson.
No, he's not scoring 44.
It's going to take 4 or 5 games for him to warm up at least. So who knows where they're going to be in call it 3 weeks, because I'm going to give him 2 or 3 games to get his back under his belt.
Yeah.
So let's say realistically, he's out 3 weeks to the guy they need, the guy that just walked off the court after dropping 40 on LA or 37, whatever it was, before he got hurt. So in a game that I thought the Knicks should have won twice, but anyway, LA persevered and found a way. But Brunson going out was a big problem. Because when he went out, it was a 2-point game.
It's an interesting matchup.
Yeah, it is. But they're the 3 seed right now. I don't know that they're going to end up there.
No, I don't think so.
Karl Anthony Towns and Mr. Owen Anunoby.
Yeah.
These two need to really step up.
Yeah.
In the next
this is a big
2-3 weeks.
It's a good opportunity for them. Really.
These two have to prove they're a legit big 3, because if they are, they'll stay afloat. They won't drop more than 1 spot. If they aren't, and again, maybe the Knicks get lucky. I don't know what the schedule is. I don't know who they're playing. They might have 4 cupcakes. Who knows?
Right.
And they could dodge a bullet. I don't know. We'll see. I don't know. We'll look at that. We'll figure that out.
They're going to have 5 or 6 games over the next 2 weeks anyway. So.
Yeah, at least. So.
Yeah.
By the way, segment brought to you by Coffee and Bailey's.
Yes, sir.
Bailey's Irish Coffee.
It's good stuff.
Good stuff. Because you put in your coffee, it's pretty good.
Good for you.
Not bad. But anyway, we're back in segment 3. It's a slug 'em down Saturday. Celtics 111-102, 101 over LA. Lawton's top 10. Now, you heard mine when we were live.
Yeah. And ours wasn't too different.
I wanted to hear what Lawton's top 10 is. Now, he's heard mine. He's heard my justification for it. He's actually heard my top 15 and my justification for that. And I made an adjustment, actually, because basically I flipped him. I mean, I'd West at 15, Hondo at 16. I flipped that because I didn't think about Hondo being 6-0 against him in the finals, and really and he scored 26,000 points.
Yeah.
And Hondo was 8-0 in the finals. Like that. If I took his name off that and you just looked at those numbers, what would you think?
Man, you'd be like,
the guy's in the
who
GOAT.
was that?
You're like, that guy's in the GOAT conversation.
Yeah, exactly.
Think about it. He's in the GOAT conversation. 8-0 in the finals.
8 rings.
26,000 points.
Yeah.
6-0 against Jerry West.
Yeah.
Who's the logo? If you took the name off that and you looked at it, you'd be like, who the fuck is that? And the question would be, why is this guy not in the GOAT conversation? That would be your question.
Yeah.
That'd be your first question. How is he not in the GOAT conversation?
We were pretty close on that.
Okay.
As far as, but I would say we'd go Jordan, Kareem, Russell, Magic Bird, right? That'd be the 5.
Yep.
And then you're getting into the next wave.
My next 5,
here.
just to recap, were in order: Chamberlain,
Yep.
Dr. J, Duncan, Kobe, and LeBron.
See, I think I'd put Shaq in there.
Who Duncan has a winning record against also.
Yeah, but I mean,
And has
I
one
think
more ring.
more dominant player was Shaq.
Shaq had Kobe.
Well, he had D-Wade too. And they all had
That's
great
right, he
players.
had D-Wade.
But I still put Shaq in
By the
there.
way, if we're going by supporting cast, are D-Wade and Kobe...
I feel like I sound like a homer. There's a lot of Lakers in here.
Are
but-
D-Wade and Kobe better than Manu and Parker? And I would go with yes.
Yes.
Yes, and by the way, by a wide margin.
So I would say I would because you made me rethink Curry. So Curry's not into it.
A man that will admit on camera he doesn't play defense half the time.
Yeah, that's
with
not
a
good.
straight face is not making my top 10.
So really, Shaq is because you get Kobe. I do Wilt. I think you had Dr. J though. I had LeBron.
Yeah, Jay is at 7.
And I think is that all of them?
I had 6 was Wilt. Dr. J was 7.
So
Duncan was 8.
Shaq,
Kobe was 9.
LeBron, Kobe, and
Duncan, Kobe, 8, 9, and 10 were Duncan, Kobe.
It's a lot. It's a lot. I know it's a lot of Lakers. I sound like a homer, but they're all great players.
LeBron's not a Laker.
Yeah, I mean you're not counting.
He's not.
Him.
He won
fair.
3 championships elsewhere. He's
And
not
Shaq's
a
in
Laker.
there. Shaq moved around. He played for 17
Honestly,
teams.
if someone said to me Shaq was better than LeBron, I wouldn't argue with him. Shaq was more dominant than LeBron.
I feel like it's different.
He just got fat.
They're so different players.
Shaq was, but I know they were different players, but Shaq was more dominant than LeBron. Shaq won 3 Finals MVPs in a row. LeBron did not.
Yeah.
And he did that with Kobe Bryant.
Shaq
next to him.
You could arguably say he's the most dominant center of all time, but it was only because of his size. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he wasn't, and it's not to say I'm not saying Shaq didn't have any skill, but you compare
Shaq
him.
had bad free throws and a lot of touch fouls for Shaq. I used to think were they were advantageous for us, but at the same time, I was like, man, you just can't touch him.
Shaq was the hardest guy to referee.
Yeah.
To be fair, that's not Shaq's fault, by the way.
Sure.
Be fair here. Shaq, like I said, I put him behind Steph Curry, and I put him behind Olajuwon, who beat him who swept him in the finals. He's 13.
Yeah, I'd say
That's where he is.
You get to that
13.
next.
And by the way,
wave.
if you're in the top 15 of all time,
Yeah, I mean, you're
don't,
like
don't
so
tell me you're
ridiculous.
offended.
Yeah,
how
he's
about
so
you put me
good.
at 13 all time?
Yeah.
Yeah, I did, donkey. I did.
Yeah.
Okay.
Olajuwon,
and I can
Duncan.
justify the 12 in front of you very easily.
Steph would be in there.
Yeah, I mean,
I think you had a couple more Celtics. You had Havlicek and Kuzi
No, I
in
have
there.
Havlicek. I have 3 Celtics. I have Russell. I have Bird, and I have Havlicek. That's it.
Yeah.
Out of 15. By the way, Lakers. I have Jabbar. I have Magic. I have Wilt, who's not just a Laker. He was a Sixer too.
Yeah, and
I have
Shaq in
I
there.
have LeBron. I have Shaq in my top 15. I have 5 Lakers in my top 15.
Yeah.
I am a Celtics fan. You cannot right there factually say I am biased. I have more Lakers than Celtics. And if I argue the 3 Celtics, you won't argue.
And you're
with
probably
me.
putting guys like, I mean, would you put Iverson in the top 20? Probably. That's a tough one, right?
I've done out this top 20. Iverson is not in it.
Not in it.
No,
Got
he's
it.
not.
I would
because
definitely
there's
put
so many
Reggie
more
or
guys.
Ray Allen.
No,
Two more great shooters.
no,
Probably the best.
but they're one.
Probably got Jerry
when you
West
think
in
top
there.
20, you multi-dimensional.
Jerry West
hold
has
on.
got to be in there.
Jerry West is 16.
Yeah, I
so
was gonna say,
he's
he's got-
16. So
yeah,
hold on.
yeah.
Let's go from 17 to 20 here.
Okay.
Okay, if we're thinking now, so just to recap the top, my 16 is in the order. It's Russell, Jordan, Jabbar, Bird, Magic, Wilt,
Yep.
Dr. J, Duncan, Kobe, LeBron.
Yep.
Then Curry, Olajuwon, Shaq, who was 14. Elgin Baylor was
Elgin
14.
Baylor, you had Elgin.
Havlicek is 15. West is 16.
Mm-hmm.
Now go from there. So after West, now you're like, all right, well, there's George Mikan, first dominant
Oh,
big man.
yeah.
5
George Mikan's another one
All-NBA,
that could
5
be in there.
NBA titles. Remember the first, that's why I always laugh at LA. The first 5 were in Minneapolis. You didn't win 17, you won 12. Shut up. That's a fucking fact. All right, that's why I laugh. You get that. I'm like, it's really 18 to 12. All right, but the bottom line is this. Okay, there's Mikan.
Yeah.
Okay, there's Bob Cousy. Okay, there's fucking. I mean, oh my god. There's what's his nuts. There's Moses Malone, 3-time league MVP. There's Nikola Jokic.
Jokic.
Okay?
Yeah,
There's
you
Jokic,
got,
okay?
Oh my God.
Okay, there's Kevin Durant. Okay, there's what's his nuts
many.
there? I'm saying you can.
Yeah,
There's,
put Charles
there's
Barkley.
Giannis Antetokounmpo.
Yeah,
I mean, you
that's one
can.
great
You
one,
want to? I'm serious. You can literally. There's Dwayne Wade. Okay, then you can. I can literally. We could go. We can have this conversation. And to me, it's a far more interesting one.
Yeah.
Because they're all really close.
Yeah. You're
They're
right.
all
You're
really
right.
fucking close.
You're right.
Kevin McHale, James Worth.
Yeah.
I can give
just
you
keep
a
going
list.
on and
If we
on.
went from 16, if we agree that in some order that 16 is accurate.
Yeah.
Jerry West being 16.
Yeah. Right.
So go from 17 to 20. That's
Yeah,
a
that's
rock
hard-
fight.
That's a tough.
It's
that's
a
tough.
rock fight. Think about it.
It's tough.
And it's a great. To me, this is the conversation that you should have in the bar.
Yeah.
Because this
yeah.
is the one where you can literally plug and play 20 guys.
Now we got to look this up. Just say like
you can literally
let's just see
plug
when
and
we
play.
Google top 20 players
Yeah.
of all time.
I'm pretty sure that the 16 I just gave are all
Top
in there
20
somewhere.
NBA
I'd be shocked if all 16 I just mentioned are not in that top 20.
players all time. And I'm sure this is going to be some sort of generated list, right?
Most of them have Bird 6 or 7. One has an 8, and I'm like, they all put
Reigns.
Magic ahead of Bird, and they all forget the Kareem factor. Magic never won a ring without Kareem. Larry Bird won 3 without a guy like Kareem. Okay, and for you again, he had Parrish and McHale. Well, when Parrish and McHale didn't have him, and they had Dennis Johnson, it was all they
Who
won
are we
42
missing? We're not
games.
missing anybody from the list because you got Durant's on most of these lists, so he might be
no,
in
he
that
could be in
17,
there.
20, right?
Yep, Durant would be fair. Yes, 2-time world champion, 2-time Finals MVP. He's scoring average 27. Yeah, Durant 30,000 points. Yeah, Durant would make sense. He's in there, certainly. Okay, but Dwayne Wade.
All right, let's get
I mean,
here we go.
fucking,
Okay,
you're,
we're getting
you're
there, we're
missing
getting
out a lot of David Robinson. I mean, Patrick Ewing. There's a
Okay.
lot of names here.
So
Charles
in the 20.
Barkley.
So of the
We can
names we
float,
have not named, right? Okay.
which is 17 through 20. West is
Number
16.
18.
Who's 17?
Who's 17?
Yeah.
Dirk Nowitzki.
He's in that conference.
He's in that conference.
I don't think he's better than Dwayne Wade, but all right.
18 is Giannis.
Okay.
Okay, this is just a list.
Yeah,
Curry,
yeah.
we got him.
Yeah.
Moses, we said
I'll
him.
think
J after
either one.
J.
Yeah.
Olajuwon. Durant, they have at 12. That might be a little too high
That's
for
too
me.
high. That's too high. He did nothing without Steph Curry. in terms of
He's
winning.
not won rings. Yeah,
Yeah,
without
no rings without Steph. You can't. Well, that drops him out.
There is also a name in here that we absolutely overlooked, and we should feel very. We feel a little. I will say I feel a little irresponsible.
Isaiah Thomas.
There's two. Yeah, Isaiah and Oscar Robertson. We
Yeah,
forgot about him.
Okay, well, he's definitely in there.
Well, he's got to be in there
right,
too.
so,
Isaiah's got to be in there
All
too.
right, so,
Like,
well,
oh,
if that's
God.
true, then there is 17 and 18. That leaves 2.
Leaves 2.
So if
That
we agree
that we missed.
Oscar would be 17 behind West, and then you'd have to
Yep.
go Isaiah Thomas, the greatest little man in the history of the game.
Yep.
That's true. That's 18. All right, so that leaves 2 spots.
Leaves 2 spots. All right. Let's
is
see.
very
Let's see who we like. Anybody else you met? I'll look at the next 22 through 25.
George Gervin, freaking Moses Malone again.
Moses Malone was already in there. We already
league
put him in there. Remember?
No, we didn't. He's not in my top 16.
Oh, we did. Oh, he's
No.
on. He's on this list.
All right, well, say he's 19.
He's on this top 20 list.
Oh yeah, that's 19.
Yeah.
He's a 3
So
times
he's 19.
MVP.
So now we're just looking for the next guy. All right. Let's look at.
You said Jokic was in there.
No. Let's see. Here.
Because if Jokic is not in there, he's a 3-time league MVP. He has to be in there. Because there's only 7 of those.
Okay.
So he'd be number 20.
We've got some interesting ones in
Yeah.
here. These are
He's won a championship too.
all. Oh my God.
What?
Oh, this is 5 great players.
Okay, game.
All right. For one spot, we got David Robinson,
Yeah.
John Stockton, the all-time assist leader. No one's ever going to be
And
there.
all-time steals leader. He owns 2 of those.
Karl Malone,
Yep.
Charles Barkley, Kevin Garnett.
Who do we have? Moses Malone?
No. You have Kevin Garnett.
Yeah,
You
but,
have
wait, hold on. 17 we agreed was Oscar Robinson.
Yeah.
18 was Isaiah Thomas. 19 was who?
Moses Malone.
Moses Malone. Okay, so this is between
Kevin
Jokic,
No,
Garnett.
Jokic isn't even on the list yet.
He should be. He's got a championship like Garnett. He has 2 more MVPs. He should be.
Okay, so he's on there. But
Barkley, no
Karl Malone.
no rings.
Okay, so no Stockton.
No.
And
To me-
Dave Robinson's got.
To me, 1 ring and 1 MVP. To me, number 20 is Jokic. 3 MVPs and a ring.
I mean, he's got more than all these guys. Let's
Yeah.
just look at 26.
Yep.
Let's see.
He's got a
27.
ring. And he's got 3 league MVPs.
Mikan's in here.
Yep. He's one of only 7
Chris
guys.
Paul, get out of here.
No,
And Dwayne Wade.
No, it has to be
CP0
It
can't
has
get
to be
in the
Jokic. Jokic is one of 7 men that have won 3 league MVPs. The other 6 are already on.
There's a lot of great
The
players
other
in there.
6 Lawton are already on this list.
Yeah. And then you start getting into these guys are all good.
I
They're
love
not
it.
like-
I love this. Let's look at it.
That's a dope list.
I love this list. This is to me is the fairest, makes the most sense. It's Russell, Jordan, Jabbar, Bird, Magic, Wilt, Dr. J, Tim Duncan, Kobe Bryant, LeBron James, Steph Curry, Olajuwon, Shaq. 14. Who was 14? Was it Mikan? No.
No, Shaq.
Who was 14? Who was 14?
I thought it was Bob Cousy.
No, we didn't
No.
have Kuzi.
Didn't do Havlicek.
Havlicek is 15. Who was 14? We had somebody ahead of Havlicek.
Who was 14? Curry? Did you already say Curry?
Was it Curry was 11? It was Curry. It was Curry, Olajuwon, Shaq. Who was 14?
Oh, man, I can't remember now.
Oh my God, who was 14? America, who was 14? We have to go back.
Yeah,
we have to
going back.
rewind the tape. Who was 14?
14 was, I feel like it's somebody that we had rated really high.
He is really high. He was right before Havlicek.
14. Do you say Olajuwon? Yeah.
Yeah, Olajuwon
Dr.
is 11.
J, you already said.
Yeah, he's 7.
See, I thought we said Moses was right there, not Dirk.
No, hold on. Stop.
Yeah.
Dirk was what? No, Dirk's not on this list. No, hold on.
I can't remember who's 14 because I can remember.
Havlicek is 15. West is who is 14? Elgin Baylor.
Elgin Baylor, yes.
Elgin
You're
Baylor.
right. Elgin Baylor.
So
yes.
think about this. Elgin Baylor is 14. Havlicek 15. West is 16. 17 was Isaiah Thomas.
Isaiah Thomas was after.
No, after who? Moses Malone. No. Who was that? Who was before Isaiah Thomas?
I feel like it was another point guard.
No. Who was?
No, why can't man?
Oh my God! This is great. This is why you don't have
Jerry West.
gummies and Yoda and everything else. Stephen A. Smith is vindicated. Lay off the weed. Hold on. Wait. Jerry West. Oscar Robinson, 17.
Yes.
He's 17.
Because then it was Isaiah.
18 is Isaiah.
19 was Moses.
19 is Moses. 20, I think, is Jokic.
And Jokic. That's a pretty damn good list.
Well, all those guys either have 3 league MVPs or multiple titles, or they've changed the game in some way that they, like Steph Curry, everybody tries to shoot threes now.
Sure.
Shaq.
The way you guard
Shaq,
people. Yeah.
Dr. J. Everybody wants. Shaq in his rap video has, who do you want to be like? I want to be like Dr. J.
Yeah,
everyone
right.
Everyone to be Dr. J. Okay, so he's 7. Okay, think about this list. This is immaculate. I think this is the list. I think if
That's
we're
a
being
good list.
fair,
I like it. I like it. That's a good list.
I think if we're being fair and impartial, and I left Bob Cousy, I left some names.
On their top 50 list, you got Kuzi's like 36, but he's in the top 50.
The Houdini of the Hardwood, just grow them 8 inches and change the
Maravich is in there. That late
Maravich
30s.
should be, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean,
but
these
think
are
about
all-
this is the IDD official top 20. Sorry, Tom, you're not here. But I think Lawton's going to agree with me, so it's going to be 2-1, so who cares?
Yep.
The bottom line is this. It's Russell 1, Jordan 2, Jabbar 3, Bird 4, Magic 5, Wilt 6, Duncan 7, Duncan 7, I'm sorry, Dr. J 7, Duncan 8, Kobe 9. Remember, he was 2-1 against Kobe in the final, has one more, the same amount of rings. No Shaq. LeBron 10, 11, Steph Curry, 12, The Dream, Olajuwon, 13, The Diesel, 14, oh my God, we always come back to this. Who the fuck? Elgin Baylor, 14. I'm sorry, Elgin. I love you, Elgin. Well, you were in a Celtic. I don't love you that much. 15, Havlicek. 16, West. 17
was Oscar Robertson.
Oscar Robinson. We love you, Oscar. Sorry, the guy
Zeke was 18.
invented the triple-double.
Yeah, exactly.
Oscar Robinson she has to be in the top 20. Zeke, 18, greatest middle ever. 19, Moses Malone, one of 7 men to win the league MVP 3 times. The other 6 are ahead of him. And number 20, Jokic, the 7th guy to win.
And Russell Westbrook isn't even, probably top 30. No. He's another one. And he had triple-double 4 times.
4 years he averaged triple.
That's crazy.
At 6'4". Now,
That's
again,
incredible.
Small ball. Charles Barkley, by the way, 6'4", led the NBA in rebounding in the golden age of big men.
Yeah.
Charles Barkley, who is also not in this top 20.
Man, true.
Okay. He won a league MVP, never won a title, which is the biggest thing against him. But 6'4", averaging 12 rebounds a game for a career. And by the way, look at the era he played in. A Jabbar, Ewing, Duncan, Olajuwon, Parrish. These are all Hall of Famers. This is the league he was in. Dan Issel. No one talks about Dan Issel. Okay, there's a guy. There were so many fucking Bill Laimbeer, rebounding machine, center. This is the era.
Shot a lot of threes.
Moses Malone.
Yeah.
Moses Malone, who won MVPs in the 80s, plural. These are the big men he was going. Karl Malone, 2-time MVP, who's a big man. This is what Charles Barkley, and he wasn't a one-time. I think he led the league in rebounding 4 times.
Yeah.
At 6'4". Charles Barkley is not on this list. Now, I'm sure he's in the top 30.
Yeah.
But that's the top 20. Question that list. Ask about that list. Give us your list. But when you think about, and again, the biggest one I know is going to be Bird Magic.
And if you don't want to put him in order, that's still a killer top 20. That's
but you can't deny any of that top 20.
No, I think all those players deserve to be in the top 20.
And Bob,
even in an argument, even if you say, some are on the fence.
If you want to swap Bob Cousy, who's got 6 rings, who revolutionized the point guard position. He's the guy. He's Magic at 6'1". Magic is Kobe is Cousy at 6'9". Go look at the tape. It's eerily similar.
Some might put Durant in the top 20.
He is in the top 20.
We didn't pick him in there.
We did. We had him at 19, didn't we?
Nope. 19 was. It was after Isaiah. It was
Malone.
Moses Malone. Yeah.
Durant,
so I'm just saying Durant's probably in the top 25.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He's probably the next 5. But we go on all night. But
but look at that.
That's a pretty damn good list, man.
That's a legit, unbiased. I think.
Yeah, a lot of those guys got gold medals too. They've been on great championship teams.
You look at that 20 again, and I'm going to do it again because we have to get it right.
Yeah.
It's Russell, Jordan, Jabbar, Bird, Magic, Wilt, Dr. J, Duncan, Kobe, LeBron is the top 10. Steph, 11. Olajuwon, 12. The Diesel, 13. Oscar Robinson, 14. John Havlicek, 15. Jerry West, 16. Why do I always stumble on 17, motherfucker? God!
Jerry West on 16. Oh, yeah, that's 16. Oscar Robertson.
Oscar Robinson, 17. Thank you. Fucking 18 was
Zeke.
Isaiah Tucker, greatest little man ever. 19, Moses Malone, 3-time MVP and won a title in Houston. And 20 is Jokic. I think...
Wait, Moses was on that 83 Philly team.
Yeah, one of the greatest teams ever. They were 13-1 in the playoffs.
Oh, it's crazy.
65 and swept the Lakers.
Man.
They swept the Lakers with Magic and Jabbar.
Yeah.
That you can't...
Somebody had to be injured, right?
Andrew Toney, Mo Cheek, no. That Sixer team. Bobby Jones, no one talks about. 6'10", white guy could jump out of the gym. He was Tom Chambers with balls.
Yeah.
Like Bobby Jones Bobby Jones does not get talked enough about what a great player he actually was with that team. That team, he was one of the linchpins of that. They rolled The Celtics, who had
Somebody
they rolled
in those Detroit Lakers series in the late 80s, somebody was majorly injured in that series, one of the star players. The Magic hurt his hamstring in the one series, and the Pistons won
4-1.
4-1. And then in the other series was the one where Isaiah broke his ankle and scored 25 in the quarter, and that was sick. But he couldn't play after that.
That might be the greatest
adrenaline
single season or single game finals performance.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
He scored
on basically a broken ankle.
25 on one leg against the Lakers and Michael Cooper.
And
they
that
were going for their repeat.
Yeah.
I got news for you.
But those last two games he couldn't play.
6-1, and he did this, and they could not stop him.
He was on fire.
Like, that's one of those moments, like when Game 5, Bird against Detroit. Or, Magic had that finals game against the Sixers back in 80 when he had 42, 15, and 7 playing center. When he really wasn't playing center. He was playing guard, and the guy couldn't guard him because he was a center. It wasn't about Magic guarding him. It was about him guarding Magic. But anyway, he did it nonetheless. They have those performing. Michael Jordan, the 6-3s against the Portland Trailblazers in the first half. All these guys have this game. Bird actually has more. Bird game 5 against the Lakers in '84, where he had 34 and 17. The garden was 97 degrees because they had no AC.
Oh,
Bird goes for 34 and 17 on 20 shots. He goes 15 for 20.
Can you imagine that?
Can you imagine
You'd
that?
just be exhausted.
And Bird was like, "Yeah, it's hot."
Yeah.
Jabbar is on the bench with an oxygen tank.
Yeah,
and Bird is like, "What are you doing?" Like, this is why Larry Bird's Larry Bird in the top 5, because that's that. He's got a couple.
They
of
did
these.
that one year in San Antonio when they were playing. It was like 90 in there, and they had no AC. I was like, "Oh man, that's crazy."
It's crazy. Oh, it's hard to play in heat.
It is.
It's hard to play basketball in heat. Oh my God, that's hard to do. It's just, I've done it. It's hard to do. I mean, I've played football in the snow and the shit and garbage, but trying to play basketball in the heat.
Oh my God.
Oh man, that is just a negative on a negative that does not end up in a positive. It doesn't do it. Good. So man, I think that top 20 is pretty awesome.
It is pretty good.
So switching gears real quick to college basketball. Hey, number 1 went down again today.
2 in a row.
Auburn in overtime loses at home to I'll tell you, Alabama.
They on the list?
They're real.
Yeah.
They're real. Alabama is one of these teams that could win the national
Auburn's probably going to fall out of the top 5 this week. They're losing 2 in a row.
But weren't they? Well, one was at home.
No.
This was at home today. In
Sure. And I will tell you, they've only lost they have 5 losses now or 4?
4.
Only one of those is to not a top 10 team.
Yeah,
it was
to
Texas
Duke.
A&M.
Yeah.
They were ranked 22.
It was ranked 22.
Yeah.
It was there, too. It was at Texas A&M.
So, I mean, that's their worst loss.
The SEC might get 13 teams.
It's crazy.
9 of them are ranked. So when you say to me, well, they've got 4 losses in the SEC, that's not. I've never seen a conference in my lifetime this deep.
Yeah.
I mean, I've seen conferences at the top that were better. Carolina and Duke in the 90s together, they were better, but in terms of top heavy, but from a depth perspective.
Yeah.
Go look at the 12 and 13th team in the SEC and tell me what you think they'd be in any other league. They're in the top 5 in any other league. No sweat. Right. No sweat.
It's a good league this year.
And that's where I it's not a good grade, it's a historically great league.
Yeah.
Because a great league before, the Big East had 9 one year.
Yeah.
They may have 13. The Big Ten had 8 one year.
They'll have
they may
legitimate gripes after 9.
Yeah.
If like
those
10 to through 13 teams don't get in.
Those
you know
bottom 4 are going to have a
like,
complaint going, do you look at the conference we're in?
And I don't think it's avoidable that you're not going to have a rematch, an SEC rematch, SEC on SEC rematch.
Yeah.
Of some sort.
There was one year.
That many teams.
And again, but they weren't. Well, actually, they were deep. The Big East in 85, 84. No, 85. Was it? No. They had one year. The Big East had 3 of the Final 4 teams.
Yeah.
And Georgetown was in the final. I don't know if it was Houston or Villanova, because 84 was Houston. They won that one. Villanova, they lost by 2, and Villanova shot 80% from the floor. That was Patrick Ewing, the Hoya Destroyer. The Big East had 3, and I don't know that I've seen a conference do that since, where they've got 3 of the Final 4. Big East, but this SEC this year, there's a chance.
There is a chance.
There's a chance. And again, a lot of it, you know this as well as anybody, because we do. He does as many brackets probably as I do.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, there's, depending on the matchup, the draws, and all this shit.
Yeah.
I mean, Michigan.
It's usually what happens. Michigan State got a chance.
Michigan State is a contender. Duke's for real. Duke is for real.
Michigan State doesn't quit.
No.
You know, and that's the thing with them.
They got a great Marquette.
Yeah.
For real. St. John's.
For real. Legit.
Yeah. I mean, that game today was great. Those 2 teams, don't be shocked if they're both in the Final 8.
Yeah.
Don't be.
Yeah, and all those are in
Don't
16.
be. Yeah, I'm
you know?
saying. So
I got 3 new ones though in
saying,
here. I had to
so-
kick 3 out.
Well, this is the thing. This segment was supposed to be with 30 minutes in, but this is what we do on this.
That's what we do. That's what happens.
You know, I don't know whether to blame the Baileys or Tito or the doctor.
Or the Midori.
Miss Midori. I mean, there's a lot of blame. If we were doing a blame pie right now, we're talking 10 slices.
Yeah.
We're talking 10 slices.
Easy.
There's plenty of blame to go around here tonight for what's going on. I mean, the camera is crooked and no one noticed it until just now. We're 30 minutes in.
No, you're good. You're good.
Anyway, but Lawton's loaded 16 week 3 edition. Now he says that but the precursor. And again, what I love about Lawton is he does this in no particular order, which I love that because it's subject to change. And by the way, if we're being fair, it should be because it should be fluid.
Yep.
Because championship week is starting, and it's already started with the mid majors, and things can certainly change in the next 8 days.
They can.
Because Selection Sunday is but 7 days away.
Yeah.
7 days. Think about this. 7 days. So can things change? But this is what I love about Lawton's list. It's fluid. It's no particular order because it's subject to change. So without further ado, Lawton, and he's made 3 additions.
I have. You know, because
we're
of
gonna
things we've seen in the past week, 7 to 10 days.
Yeah.
So, you know, obviously I'm a Michigan State guy. They're going.
Which I think about this time of year,
Yeah.
we got to ratchet it up like what we're doing this weekly because it changes.
You
weekly.
got to change
It
up.
changes weekly.
Purdue. From then we're doing some Big Ten teams. Purdue, Michigan State. Michigan's going to be in, but if I had to rank them, they'd be my 15 or 16 team because they've had a really bad stretch of games where
Yeah.
they get real close. They got blown out on senior day by
Yeah.
Illinois by 20. Like, that doesn't make any sense. Now, I had Wisconsin here because I remember we talked about Wisconsin about them being just always in the mix, right? But
Listen, go ahead.
But I had to kick them out. I had to kick them out.
No, you do.
Because Maryland is the one playing much better basketball lately.
They are.
And so I put Maryland in there in place of Wisconsin. So that's what Auburn, Alabama, Florida, Tennessee. No one's going to be excited about that, right? I mean,
You should because they're all good.
Well, I'm saying
they're all legitimately good.
No one's going to say that those don't belong.
Don't
right?
belong. No,
Right.
I agree with all those. Yes.
I also have Houston, Texas A&M, and Duke. No one's going to say they don't belong.
You know, nobody's still talking about Houston.
I have no
I
idea
can't.
why.
You know, and I don't know about.
I don't understand.
He's a basketball guy like me.
Yeah.
It's if I say what's your favorite sport,
Frontline's unbelievable.
he'd probably say basketball's his favorite sport. If I was being fair.
Yes.
Okay, that's my favorite sport.
Yep.
So it's fair to say that in the past 10 days, he and I have probably looked at more potential brackets
Yeah.
than most people. And this is what I love about his list, and that's why it's fluid or not in any particular, because he knows what can happen and has happened because he's done enough fucking brackets to know shit changes. This next 8 days is going to be crazy.
It's going to be nuts.
People, it's almost like the NFL combine.
Yeah.
Stock is going to go up, stock is going to go down.
Yeah.
Bubbles are going to burst, bubbles are going to be made or blow. Like this is a lot of shit's going to happen in the next 8 days. So from there, I'm sorry, go on.
From there,
yes, from there.
I haven't hated a lot tonight, but I have an opportunity now.
Wait, you're going to hate?
I'm gonna hate. And
I need a drink
and
for
I'm gonna
this.
be consistent with my hate.
Well, you
I
can't
had to
hate.
take Kansas out because Hunter Dick can't handle it.
Wait, I'm just getting a Gatorade. Go on with Hunter Dick for a minute. Explain your Hunter Dick hatred.
So for those that don't know,
But the hatred is
Hunter Dickinson used to play for Michigan, so
Oh my
you know,
God,
Michigan State guy.
hey.
So like, and I never liked his antics on the court where he would make a shot and then walk, be like this after he'd make it. He just was kind of stupid, and so I've always when he went to Kansas, I was like, it's not gonna make a difference. If anything, it's gonna piss Bill Self off, and he has been decent there,
stealing it.
done good on the double doubles, but you know what? I don't feel like Kansas is a better team with him. So I'm replacing Kansas with Clemson, and I don't think it's a bad choice.
And I
has
agree
sold
with
me.
this. Clemson is
has
tough.
sold me. You guys sold me last time on Clemson. That was one.
That was me.
I still got UConn in there because you got to beat to be the best. You got to beat the
Dude,
best,
they're
right?
20. They won today,
They
right?
won again today.
They are.
Yep.
Hold on a minute. To Lawton's point, and by the way, I gotta give him credit. He called this a couple of weeks ago.
Yep.
They are. And how do you say this? Because this is
Top 16.
No, but hold on.
talking
But here's the
about
thing.
it. They only got 5 losses.
They're back-to-back champions. They're 20.
Right.
They're 22-9.
They're 22-9. Yeah.
If you look at the top from 10 to 20,
Yeah.
everybody in there has like 8 or 9 losses. For
Who
the most
wants
part.
to play them?
Like
Yeah.
I'm telling you right now, he called this. If you're
All right.
if you're sleeping on UConn,
3 more left, right? You got
Yes.
obviously the Johnnies. You got to give them love.
they
Marquette's
won-
in there.
They won in Marquette today, and
Yeah,
over
but
to
Marquette's
hell of a
in there
game.
too.
Hell of a game.
And then I had to drop Kentucky out. I
Yes.
had to because it's just time. I brought in Texas Tech. Texas
Did
Tech.
Kentucky win today? Well, they beat. Well, Missouri was ranked.
Yep. So for now, there's your
Did
16.
Kentucky win today?
I think so. Yeah. I
Okay,
think so.
all right. That's a quality win in Missouri. They're ranked too.
Yep.
Okay, but all right. So who were the three we dropped? We dropped Kansas,
Wisconsin, Kansas, and Kentucky.
Yeah, Kansas lost. The Wisconsin lost too, right?
Yeah, they lost, and they lost a bad loss to Penn State. You can't lose to Penn State, who's second.
I saw this
They're like
today.
17th in the Big Ten.
Yeah, they're not.
You can't lose to
They're
Penn
like
State.
Penn State was literally 15-15.
Yeah, you can't lose to
You
Penn State.
can't lose to a 15-15.
Not when you're Wisconsin, you're
No.
battling, and now you lost.
No.
They still have the double bye, I believe, though, because it's top 4 teams in Big Ten get the double bye.
Look, they're ranked. They should be ranked.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
that's a bad loss.
It's a bad loss.
It's a bad loss.
Right. Terrible.
And when you're thinking, to your point,
And Maryland's on the way up. Maryland's been playing
They're
good. I mean,
creeping.
listen,
They're
they had
creeping.
won 4 out of their last 5. And then the one they lost was the buzzer beater to State.
Yeah.
So, I mean, think about that. They almost had 5 in a row.
Yeah.
I mean, that's pretty impressive.
And
So
by the way,
I had to put them in there.
And by the way, that is all. Yes, I don't disagree with one syllable of what he just said. And again, this is the 8 days where if you're a basketball fan, a lot of shit's gonna go down.
Oh.
You're gonna know what this is. A lot of shit's gonna go down the next 8 days, starting tomorrow. Actually, starting today. But you think about what happened today with Alabama winning in Auburn in overtime. They're number 1. You think about Duke going into Carolina and dropping them back on the bubble in Carolina. That was a fair fight. You think about the Marquette St. John's game that went into overtime. I mean, haymakers are being thrown.
Yeah.
Okay, and this is the best to me, and no one thinks about this. This is the best week of basketball.
It is.
You're going to see every team's best punch. And by the way, I don't care what level they're at. But here's the thing. And by the way, Tom's not here, and I'm not mad he's not here. I'm disappointed because I miss him. And this show on Saturday, it's gold. It's gold with the 3 of us. It's like the tripod. It's wonderful. And with the tripod, you get a little disappointed, a little sad. He's doing the right thing. I applaud that. But the thing is, I'm going to do one for Tommy tonight because Tommy went to the VCU game last night. They were 25-4, undefeated at home on senior night, and they just loafed. They fucking loaf. And they fucking 11-12 steamers. Fresh, right out of the oven, steamy. They were at home on senior night. They win that game. They win the conference. They are a lock.
Yeah.
They're a lock. And they go out, they shoot, they miss. They miss 10 foul shots. They have 14 or 15 turnovers. What the fuck it was. I mean, and Tom's in the stand. Now, Tom is too classy to do this, but I'm not. So the bottom line is, you missed that. I shamelessly admit I have no class. So my point is that my brother from a not so Jason mother, is in the stands pulling for his team. They're undefeated at home, and they come out and they play like this. They loafed it. You have to win your conference tournament. They've got 25 wins, and they might not get in.
I know. That's
if
crazy.
they had won today,
it was a wrap.
It's a wrap.
Yeah,
it's like
yeah.
or last night, rather. It's a wrap. And Tommy's at the game, and look, Dayton's not a bad team, but they beat him in Dayton already.
Right.
Like, come on.
The fly is.
You cannot loaf like this. Is a legacy to potential loafy in the college ranks because everything's on a 1-year window because everybody transfers now with the portal that goes pro. So who the fuck knows what that team's going to look like in 12 months?
Right.
But the bottom line is in the here and the now. When you're 25-4 at home and undefeated, you win this and you're probably in. You don't loaf like this.
Yeah, it's tough.
You don't miss 10 free throws in your own gym. You don't have 14 turnovers in your own gym. You don't fucking do that shit in your own gym.
It was a shame.
If you've been that good all year long, that's a serious loafy.
Yeah.
It's steamy. It stinks. And just because Tom has the class, well, I don't have the class. I'm classless and shameless on my classlessness. And if you don't like it, I don't give a shit. VCU, you literally fucking took a dump. By the way, take all 12, 15 pairs, throw them in the dumpster. Just throw them out.
Can't even wash
them. Can't even wash them.
That's too bad.
You can't even wash them.
Especially when
just throw them out.
Tommy was washing.
The stain.
Live.
There is. Think about this. There is nothing on the periodic table. There is no element that will get these stains out of the shorts.
Nope. No DD7.
Nothing. DD7.
DD7 was really good stuff back in the day.
Yeah, and that powerless to stop it, or to remove the stench and the stain of the steamy loaf we're talking about here.
Oh.
VCU, you did that to my brethren, and I do not accept it.
Terrible.
You better win that fucking conference tournament, or if you don't get in, I ain't gonna shed one fucking tear on your ass. I'm gonna point back to this fucking game where you fucking loafed the size of the stadium you were playing in. Okay, in front of him. You fucking loafed. You don't deserve no fucking sympathy. It's between shit and syphilis in the dictionary if you're looking for it. And I want to fucking hear it. Okay, but that's disgusting and disgraceful. And somebody needs to.
They might get a play in, right? I know it's a first round or whatever they call
win
it.
the conference tournament and go. But they wouldn't have had to win the conference.
Yeah, you're right.
They could have won one and got bounced. It would have been.
Yeah.
Now
you got a little work to do.
Now you got to get to the final.
And that's like
I'll tell you why you
a
get
great
to the final.
season you've had.
I'll tell you why you have to get to the final because the SEC is going to get 13 teams.
Right, and they got to win like 27 games.
The Big East is going to get like 5. The ACC is probably going to get 5. The Big Ten might get 6. You're playing Russian roulette here.
Right.
And in a mid-level conference, mid-level major, whatever you call it, you can't do that. Okay? So their RPI was 29, but their strength of schedule was 106. Can't lose that game.
Yeah, can't lose that game.
You can't loaf like that. I mean, it stinks. It smells. It's steamy. It's one of those where, like, do you want to? I'm not touching that. You pick it up.
Yeah.
It's one of those. You know what's so bad when you walk your dog? Neither one of you can stomach with the. I can't pick that.
Ugh. No
I
thanks.
can't even look at it.
No.
Is anyone looking? Let's just stay here until no one will run away and leave. It's so bad you can't pick it up. That's where VCU is tonight.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, Michigan State.
Sorry, Tom.
Now, sorry. Yeah, I'm doing this for you. You don't have to do it.
We did have a Tom Izzo that's winning, and that is
We do.
the real.
But now, speaking of that, tomorrow, Michigan.
Senior day
But that's a neutral
at
site?
the Breslin Center.
Is that a neutral
No,
site
that's
or
at
is that
home.
Oh, that's home. All right.
Yep, on the last game of the year. Now,
What are you looking for? Give me 3 keys to victory. Because, by the way, they're currently ranked where? In
Michigan
the country.
is
They're what?
17th.
17th in the
Yeah.
country. But they are going to get a top 4 seed and maybe higher. Because to me, I still think they're still a top 10 team in the country. I still believe Michigan State is a top 10 team and a legit threat to get to the Final Four. However, tomorrow is a big game. They have to win this game. Give me 3 things that they got to do tomorrow to guarantee a win. What?
Danny Wolf,
keys?
you got to make things difficult for him, like the Celtics did to Lakers tonight, and they made things hard for Luke. You just got to make things hard.
Yep.
Danny Wolf, because their guards have not proven on Michigan that they can be a threat when you're double teaming Danny Wolf, right? If they become a threat, so hey, let's force the guards to beat you instead of Danny Wolf. We know 1-on-1 Danny Wolf's pretty good.
Yeah.
Transfer player from Yale. So
now
you've got, so that's your one key.
Okay.
Your other key is you can't get caught up in all the rip roar with the senior day and we already beat Michigan on their floor.
Mm-hmm.
This is a pride game because even if Michigan State loses, they still outright win the Big Ten.
Yeah.
Big Ten's already locked up.
So they're going to be okay.
So this is a pride thing. Okay. Yeah, this is a pride game.
Michigan is ranked.
Michigan is ranked.
Okay, so if they were to lose this game, it doesn't kill them.
It doesn't.
I'm not saying they should lose. They're wrong.
So we said, and my last one is pace of play. Yeah. You want to get out and run. You need to get out and run, quick shots. That's Michigan State basketball. It means you're getting out in transition after you're getting the rebounds on defense, and that's going to be big. You know, you want to get ahead. You want Michigan to take those long threes, try to play catch up because shots.
Are they a good
lead to long rebounds?
Are they a good 3-point shooting team? Michigan?
Not great.
Okay.
Michigan State is not great at all.
They're not great either.
No, I mean they get hot, but they've been better of late.
Is it safe to say they're streaky?
Yeah, I would say they're a little bit streaky. They've gotten better of late. Last year and even the beginning of this year, Michigan State's 3-point shooting game was awful. I mean, awful. Like 20%, below 20%. They have steadily improved that, thankfully. So, but yeah, those are my 3 keys: pace of play. Yep. Don't let the moment irk you out because it's going to be a pride game and senior day. There's all these things going on.
Yeah.
And we got some guys graduating. So it's one of those things, man. Mm-hmm. That and then what we said the third. Oh, and make sure you make Danny Wolf work.
Make Danny Wolf work.
And if you're gonna make him work and you're gonna leave it to the guards, that'd be my 3.
Make it work like we're making the Martian work right now.
Yeah, make it
Dude,
work,
this drink is amazing.
It's awesome stuff.
It's just a wonderful thing. It really is. And by the way, I love that. Because honestly, when you think about this, and again, I don't know how many basketball purists have ever watched this show, but if you think about the 3 things he talked about, it's not a homer perspective, it's a make sense perspective.
Yeah.
So like if you were coaching this team and you're in there, what are you telling them? All right, here's what we got to focus on. I'm pretty sure, because most coaches give you 5 things. I know I coached. I'm pretty sure those 3 would be in the top 5.
And there's not really a
I'd almost
center on MSU that can handle Danny Wolf.
Not really. No,
not really. Danny
yeah,
Wolf's too
really.
big for anybody.
Yeah.
So, if Michigan's looking to go in, that's the way they should go in to try to really draw some contact.
That makes sense. And here's what I've always liked about Izzo. Izzo has never, he understands, like I think Larry Bird understood, that the 3-point line was more of a dagger. It should not be. Michigan State does not run their offense around the 3-point shot.
No.
And that to me is why I give them a great chance in March and April, because all it takes in a run of 6 to think about. You have to the team that wins this has to win 6 games. One game. If you're relying on that shot and you're done.
Yeah.
Michigan State does not rely on the 3-point shot, which tells me they have a legitimate chance in every game they play. Because they don't, half their shots aren't threes.
They don't quit.
It's not about that. That's Izzo. I get that.
They don't quit.
But their
This team
approach to this
especially.
is not. I want you to shoot that, but that's not our first option.
Right.
Okay. This is the problem with the 3-point line, is that all it takes is one game and you're done.
Yep.
You're done. If
Yeah.
you rely on that, if that's your primary weapon, with a lot of teams it is.
Yeah.
That are in this tournament, I might add.
Yep.
One and you're done. Michigan State has a chance in every game they play because that is not their primary option. They can shoot it. They're not great, but they can make it. But that's not what they live and die with.
Yeah.
And to me, if you're going to live and die with something, it's not going to be the lowest percentage shot in the game.
And they've been able to come back on bad teams with a slow start. Michigan State, as they go deep in this tournament, they face Auburn or Duke. There's going to be no slow start. You're going to be going 110 miles an hour.
But at that point, it's probably going to be the Final 8 of the Final 4.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's where
Michigan
they belong.
State, they win the Big Ten tournament. There's a good chance they're getting a number one
if
seed.
If you ask me tomorrow, and we're going to do brackets next week, we're going
Yeah.
to have a bracket show when this whole thing is done. We're going to break it down. We're going to argue, which will be fun. But if I had to pick my Final 8 right now, Michigan State is in it.
100%. Yeah,
They're in the
I believe
Elite
so
8
too,
right
yeah.
now.
In the
And
Elite
after
8.
that, to me, it comes down to who's playing
And they're
well.
ranked number 8, and they should go up. Depends on how that whole thing gets mixed up, but
They should win this game tomorrow.
they should.
It's at home. They're the better team.
Listen, there's only
They should
2
win
ways this game's going to end, okay? Let me tell you that. You're going to have it the old school, 25-point blowout where they just blow them out senior day. The momentum's there.
Which is what should really happen.
I've seen these games before. I'm not being a homer.
No?
But I've also seen them lay the major loafy. Now, I've seen it happen where they just...
Yes.
And they almost did it against Iowa in the first half. Keep in mind, they
become-
scored 61 points in the second half last night. They were down by 7. Think about that. Scored 91 points, but it was 37-30. Iowa, not a good basketball team.
No.
Had not beaten a ranked team all year, and they were up. And they got the lead. They were up by 10 with 10 minutes to go.
Yeah, I don't. I was watching part of that.
But the resilience is there, and I think the biggest thing in that game was Trey Holloman and other guard getting into it a little
this
bit,
is
and it got spicy.
Michigan State, to me, in terms of the Final 8, because again, that comes down to the bracket you're in and who you drew. Matchup styles make fights, right?
Yep.
But without having any style or knowing a plan, Michigan State, to me, in terms of their approach, is why they are one of the most likely to get to the Final 8. And then after that, we'll see who they draw and where they are and all that shit. But they should, if Michigan State stays healthy and doesn't get to the Final 8, I'll be shocked. I will be shocked.
I will be too.
I'll be
Listen,
shocked. After that, it depends on a lot
I
of
think
things.
at this point,
But
the expectation, especially if they win or get into the final of the Big Ten tournament,
You're
I
not-
feel like now you're really kind of disappointing if you lose in the Sweet 16.
you're not going to tell me.
You know what I mean?
And again, I love what the SEC, that conference is, and I'm an ACC guy, but I love what the SEC is this year. But you're not going to tell me that if I drop Michigan State into that conference, they're lower than 5. Because I don't
Right.
they're not.
Yeah.
They're not. So,
Right.
and there's a lot of factors that go into that. But number one is coaching.
Yeah.
And Izzo's not my favorite coach, it's Coach K. But I know Izzo's a great coach. I know what coaching is. I've been around it, starting with Red Auerbach, the godfather himself. If Red Auerbach is not on your list, don't have a conversation with me. You'll lose 100 times out of 100 on this. Because if he's not on your list of guys that you learn from, I don't really care what you have to say. I really don't. And I've got 16 fucking rings to prove it, which is 5 more than Phil Jackson, who people think is the godfather. And he got Michael Jordan at 28, and then he got Shaq at 28. I could have won with those two.
Phil was a master at
A master.
managing egos.
Bill was, he was the master. By the way, just to back my point up, when he went to the Knicks and had neither of those two, what did he do in New York?
Well, in New York,
Salute. Salute.
that was
Salute. Hey,
that was no
salute.
But he did draft Porzingis, which you guys ended up with, so be grateful.
Drafting someone and being able to coach someone is two entirely different things.
He was what, coach and GM there for a while?
I don't know what he was, but he didn't build around
He
him.
had Kurt Rambis.
He never built around him.
Yeah.
And now he's got a ring, and the Knicks still don't. And he's been a multiple All-Star, and he's a big key piece on a team trying to repeat right now at 29 years old. He's 29 or 28, whatever he is. He's not even out of his. He's in his prime. Mm-hmm. The Knicks gave up on him too quickly. Now look, the Knicks are a good team right now, but I'm telling you right now, if you drop Porzingis in that lineup, they'd be a lot happier with it.
Yeah.
Tell you that now. They'd be very happy with it, but that never got to happen. They gave up on him too soon. He was young, and they never really built around him, seriously.
Yeah.
For being fair here.
I thought they were going to be good in Dallas with him, too. They were better.
They should have been better.
Yeah, should have been better.
But again, that's Luka's youth at the time. He was a lot younger. He's only 25 now. He was like a teenager.
Yeah.
So he didn't understand what that. Luka at that point had no understanding of how to be a leader.
Yeah.
Not all his fault.
Yeah. He's still young.
But he's very young. And you asking a guy of that age to lead a franchise to a championship, it's never happened. Mm-hmm. It's never happened. So to begrudge him or hold that against him is suicide. Yeah. To me, you're going to die on that hill alone. So, and again, I have often been very open with my criticism of Luka. He's just like Steph Curry. He doesn't play on one end of the floor. That's why neither one of them is in my top 10. Okay? If you don't play on one end of... Larry Bird made 3 all-defensive teams.
Yeah.
Okay? So Larry Bird almost averaged 2 steals a game and he couldn't move. Larry Bird averaged 10 rebounds a game and he couldn't jump.
Yep.
LeBron James has never averaged 10 rebounds a game in a season. Think about that in a small area. You're like, why do you think Bird is better? Oh, you're a Boston white guy. I'm like, no, I can back it up with why Bird is a better player than LeBron James. Bird's career was cut short by injury. But you talk to anyone in that era, he won 3 league MVPs in a row with Michael Jordan, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, and Magic Johnson in the league, and Moses Malone, and Dr. J.
Yeah.
Think about the names on the list: David Robinson, Karl Malone,
sick,
John. He won 3 in a row in that fucking era, which anyone with a brain says that's the golden era of basketball. Culminating with the Dream Team. Yep. The only Dream Team.
Yeah.
Okay. If you don't, please, I wish Kareem wasn't retired in '88 because I would love to see Kareem on that team.
My God.
But
they'd had to forget the whole Christian Laettner.
They won by 45 points a game.
That was ridiculous.
And Bird and Magic were past their prime.
Yeah.
This is what people don't understand. When I talk about great players all time, I always ask myself 2 questions. One, because this isn't about stats. It's about, one is impact on the game. Did they change the game, their style of play? Yes, in the case of Bird and Magic, absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay? Because all these big wings. LeBron James is a product of Bird and Magic. That's a fact. Okay? Bird and Magic were doing this in the 80s. They were way ahead of their time. You think they couldn't dominate this era? They'd like this era. Bird and Magic would be the 2 best players in the world right now.
They
in
would
this
love
era.
it.
They'd be the 2 best. If Bird and Magic are 28 years old, if I dropped them in this era, they're the 2 best players in the era right now.
Yeah.
Right now. And anybody who saw both would never disagree with me. They don't play defense. You can't touch them. Hey, Larry, you gotta get up at least 9.
It's pride in it.
You got to at least, hey, Larry, you got to get up at least 9 threes tonight.
Yeah.
Larry averaged 2.3 3-point attempts per game.
Right.
And he invented the 50-40-90 club in an era where they fucking play defense. Where if you went down the lane, there's a very good chance you'd get up bleeding.
He has some teeth out.
And bleeding.
Yeah.
At least bleeding.
Rick Mahorn hits
Yeah,
you.
Rick Mahorn, Bill Lambier, Robert Parrish, Kevin McHale, Kurt Rambis.
These guys are tough guys.
These guys are tough. Like Kevin Duckworth. I go on all, but the guy, Charles Oakley.
Oh, my
Are you
God.
fucking kidding me?
Anthony
Charles
Mason,
Barkley,
Anthony
Dennis
Mason.
Rodman, David. Are you kidding me? Like LeBron James would go down this lane once.
Anthony Mason was more 90s, but he was a fighter too. He was testy.
I mean, you got to be this. I mean, give me a break. Jack Sigma. I mean, talks about how great he was, for crying out loud. It's Karl Malone. Yeah, go down the lane. Go look at Isaiah Thomas's face after he ran into a Malone elbow.
Yeah, I remember
that.
that.
Oh my fucking God! Steph Curry would never come back. Steph Curry would retire and take up golf. Don't even fucking talk to me.
Karl Malone's
This is what I'm talking about. You guys don't understand. It's always easier to go from physical to less physical than to go from less physical to more physical.
Right. That is true.
And if you're not a real athlete, you don't understand what I just said. But if you are, you totally understand what I just said.
Yeah.
Okay? So this is what people don't get. If you can't touch Larry Bird at 28, oh my God. By the way, at 28, he averaged 29 points a game in that era. What would he do? He'd average 45.
Yeah.
You can't
Jordan
touch
probably
him.
averaged
Reggie Miller
50
says this. He goes, you can't even touch Larry?
Yeah.
like we were all over him. And the guy's dropping 30. In the 87 conference finals, which I think is Larry Bird's best performance, that was where he had the steal in Game 5.
Yeah.
Larry Bird against that Piston defense, which went on to win back-to-back titles after that year,
Yep.
averaged 31, 9, and 8 against that defense. Which people talk about the Jordan rules. Bird averaged 31. Think about what I just said. They have a book about that.
That bad boys defense was
that.
legit,
That defense had the Jordan rules. Bird destroyed it. He destroyed it. 31, 8, and 9, something like ridiculous like that. He destroyed it A young and very vibrant Dennis Rodman, John Sally, James Edwards, Mark McGuire, Dantley. He wiped them out. Like they couldn't guard him.
Man.
None of them could guard him. He wiped his ass. John Sally tells us Larry Bird would put fear.
He ain't hope in that series.
John Sally says Larry Bird would put fear in me or in the league like Jordan would. And James Worthy had the greatest line.
That was tough for them.
Yeah, James Worthy had the greatest line ever. He goes, Michael made you look slow. Larry made you look stupid.
Yep.
That's James Worthy, who played with Michael Jordan and won a national title with him. Okay, who played him played with Magic. He goes, Michael made you look slow. Larry made you look stupid. You want to know why Larry Bird is in my top 5?
Because he made you look stupid.
He made you look stupid. And for you people that don't doubt that, you look at Jokic and freaking Doncic. Right? Look at if you put them together, you'd have Larry Bird.
Yeah.
He was faster than both of them. He was a better shooter than both of them. He had a better post game than both of them. He was a better defender than both of them. Are you kidding me? 10 rebounds a game, and Robert Parrish and Kevin McHale are standing next to him?
That's crazy. Hustle.
Yeah, hey, Jokic, shut the fuck up, okay? Shut the fuck up.
But he's still in top 20.
He's 20. Bird is 4.
Right. But he's in there.
He's in there, and he should be in there.
Yeah.
But when people say he's just as good, no, he's not. No, he's not. No, he's not. No, he's not.
He's got a few more rings to win.
I got news for you. I would love to take Magic, Larry, and Michael all at 28 and drop them in this era.
Oh my God.
I would love to see what this league would look like.
Oh.
Talk about a fucking woohoo shift.
Man.
You take those 3 and they're all at 28, and you put them in this era. And are you fucking kidding me?
Nasty.
Oh my God.
Mike might score 50 points a game.
All 3 of them are going to average a triple-double.
Yeah.
All 3 of them are going to average a triple-double. All 3 of them are going to be well over 30 points a game. All 3 of them, by the way, they all shoot 85% or better from the foul line, which most of these donkeys don't do. Jaylen Brown, top 50. No. Okay? Are you kidding me? Oh, and they play defense.
Yeah.
And they don't take nights off.
Nope.
They're like, think about Kobe Bryant in 3 other bodies, and think about the 3 bodies I just mentioned.
Oh my God.
I'm just saying, you just don't get it. You don't get it. You'll never get it, no matter how many people come out and say it. And this is why Magic doesn't get enough credit. People are trying to compare.
Magic just won another ring with like one of his like soccer league things.
But here's the thing: people are trying to compare.
Like 17 rings.
People are trying to compare Steph Curry to Magic Johnson. Steph Curry has one thing on him. That's it. That's it.
Oh yeah.
Everything else is
ain't no
Magic.
way, man.
Everything else is Magic.
Steph Curry is just a better shooter, but not a better player.
He's not a better player. He's not a better player. He's not
Really,
close.
tired.
He's not fucking close. There hasn't been a point guard like Magic Johnson since Magic Johnson.
Man.
There hasn't been a small forward like Larry Bird since Larry Bird. You don't get it. Like, this is the thing. Like, they were
Just don't have guys like that.
No.
They're special, man.
They're special. That's why they're both in the top 5, and they should be. And if you here's the thing. If you drop them down to any era, you know they succeed.
Yep. Yeah.
Will Chamberlain said this about Bird. He goes, Larry Bird, you could drop in any era. He's going to drop 25, 30 tonight no matter what. No what goes wrong. You can't. Doesn't matter. What era he plays in, it doesn't matter. And there's not many players you can say that about. Because most of these guys never played in a physical era. They don't know what it's like to get really hit.
Wilt would still dominate in this era.
Wilt would destroy this.
Destroy people. Oh my God.
I would love to watch Nikola Jokic try to guard.
It's like he said, his vertical leap was stupid.
Can you imagine? Think about what I just said.
7'2"?
He's 7'2" or 7'1". He's 285 pounds. He has a 48-inch vertical leap. Michael Jordan has a 48-inch vertical leap. Vince Carter has a 40. Think about that. He's 7'1" or 2". Weighs 285 pounds. You think Nikola Jokic could stop Wilt Chamberlain on the post?
Man.
Are you nuts? Are you nuts? He would foul him out in about 5 minutes. Jokic couldn't do anything with him. Okay, and on the other end, Wilt Chamberlain has a 48-inch vertical leap, and he's quicker than Jokic. You think Wilt Chamberlain couldn't guard Jokic?
Oh, of course he could.
Of course he could. He was a 5-sport athlete.
Yeah.
If anything, Jokic ain't keeping up with Chamberlain. No. He's not. And he's one of the 7 that won 3 league MVPs. Chamberlain won 4 MVPs. Do you understand this? Like, this is why I laugh at this generation. It's like, do you have any understanding? Like, just look at the numbers.
Yeah.
And you're like, I don't care what. It's like people said, when you look at Michael Jordan, 20 years and he's going to be an amazing player. Same thing with Wilt Chamberlain.
Yeah.
Same thing with Magic. Same thing with Bird.
Yeah.
Same thing with Kareem. You can drop these guys. Think about this top 10. You can drop these guys in any era, and they're going to be Kobe, Tim Duncan,
Shaq.
LeBron. They're going to be Dr. J.
Dr. J.
They will all be elite I don't care what the era is.
Yeah.
And that's why that's my top 10.
It's a good top 10.
And he agrees with most of it. The exception being Shaq, which I get.
Shaq for
Shaq,
Tim Duncan.
Shaq hurts himself. Well, Duncan got the better of him. This is the other thing.
But I still think Shaq was a better player.
Shaq
Bigger
had Kobe.
player.
Duncan had Robinson. No one argues Kobe is better than Robinson.
Yeah, that's true.
Then there's.
I still think Shaq was more dominant than Tim Duncan.
He's got one more. He's got one more ring.
I know he does have one more ring, but I still think he was more dominant.
Dominance to me equates to one thing. He's a Laker. You should know this. Shame on you. You got 17 banners, and you know the damn difference. You know the difference.
I would put Shaq in that spot. But Tim Duncan wouldn't be far behind.
Tim Duncan got the better of Shaq. Let the record show. It's factual. It's not my opinion. It's just fact.
Amen.
But Shaq is 13 on my list. That's not an insult to Shaq.
No, like you said,
I can justify the 12 in front of him without much of an argument. Okay, so it's like, oh yeah, the list is like 5 to 10 things for each one of them. Okay, it's not like it's a fluke. But he's 13. Now, here's the question, should he have been more dominant?
Well, yeah, of course he should have. But that's if he worked out.
What did Kobe say?
I'd have 12 fucking rings if Shaq worked out.
Right, now, let's go on the side of Kobe's a bit of an extremist here.
Sure.
So instead of 12, let's say he has 8.
8. I mean,
where is he?
Yeah, exactly. If you just took it serious.
If Shaq has 8, he's in the top 3.
Oh yeah.
He doesn't have 8. He has 4.
Yep. One more than Shaq.
Remember when Kobe said that? While he was the best player on those teams, he still had Kobe as a running mate.
And he had D-Wade.
Kobe's in the top.
A young D-Wade.
Yeah, but Kobe,
and Pat Riley is the coach.
Yeah,
like that.
yeah, but Kobe's in the top 10.
For sure.
So if you have a top 10 teammate, this is why I dropped Magic behind Bird. And to me, Jabbar is third behind Jordan and Russell. Think about the 2 guys I just said.
Yeah, I think you mean if they walk in with a top 10 teammate.
I'm saying Shaq has had that. Mm-hmm. When Kobe lost Shaq, he got Gasol. If people ask me who's better between...
Well, it's been a few years.
If people ask me who's better than Dwayne Wade and Gasol, everybody's going to say Dwayne Wade.
For sure.
Okay, Shaq got Dwayne Wade, Kobe got Gasol. Yep. They're both Hall of Famers.
Yeah, I agree.
But if we were going down the list of who appeared ahead of who, I think most people have Dwayne Wade ahead of Pau Gasol.
Yes, absolutely.
I'd be willing to make that
Dwayne
bet.
Wade's probably that next 25, 30 range. Yeah.
I'd say he's ahead of Pau Gasol on most lists. The exception being from Spain.
And but he has 3 rings, Dwayne Wade, so he has to be ahead of Gasol.
He is ahead of Gasol. Yes, he is.
He would have
to be. I'm saying, why do I put Kobe ahead
and
of Shaq?
2 very different teams.
Why do I have Kobe ahead of Shaq? Because when they separated, Kobe got 2, Shaq got 1. Shaq got Dwayne Wade, who's the better player.
Yeah,
Kobe got Gasol.
I feel you. I know.
That's why I put
your
Kobe,
argument is very valid, sir. I don't disagree.
That's why I put Kobe ahead of Shaq. Shaq is 13. If Shaq thinks I'm insulting him, okay, I'm sorry, Shaq. You were 13.
It's all good.
You were 13 on the list of the 20 greatest players of all time. You know what? I'm insulting you. Absolutely. You should be about 75, 76. That'd be an insult.
Kobe also has a whole wing in Boston at the Hall of Fame.
Because we respect our adversaries.
Right. That's pretty impressive too. So I'll put him above Shaq too.
He is above Shaq because he has 1 more ring.
Got a lot of Lakers in there, but I sound like a homer.
But Tim Duncan, who never had either of them, and David Robinson, as great as he was not in anybody's top 20 list. I would bet on that too. He won 4 rings without him.
That was a great system. Popovich, another one.
I'm saying Tim Duncan was the linchpin of that system. It runs through him. That's why he's where he is on the list, and that's why he's ahead of Kobe. Kobe was not the linchpin on the first 3 Lakers teams. It was Shaq. That's what hurts Kobe. Where he goes ahead of Shaq when they split up. Kobe won 2, Shaq won 1. There you go.
Yeah, they both got 5 rings.
Steph Curry, no, Shaq has 4.
Oh, I'm saying Duncan and Kobe.
Kobe both have 5, but he beat Kobe and Shaq together. That's why Duncan is where he is, because Duncan didn't have another guy like that. They had each other. They're both in the top 15. David Robinson's not in the top 20. Maybe top 30, maybe top 40.
There's just so many great players.
But I'm saying when we say there's layers to this.
Yeah.
What's great about this show, and we're an hour in by now, you know why? Because we actually examine and open up the layers.
We do. We peel back the onions.
We layer it up. This is not your
Don't use too many onions.
We
don't too much onions in the sauce.
Like if I'm sitting there with the raisin and I'm doing the garlic, he's going to go, whoa, that's too thick.
Very good system.
Do it again. No, too thick. It's not going to melt in the pan.
Yeah.
That's what he says to me. You're like, that's IDT. That's IDT right there in a nutshell. He sees me slicing and goes, whoa. No, do it again. What? Too thick.
Oh, he came in with
it's not gonna melt in the sauce. And I'm Italian. I can't even argue with him.
Yeah. Give me the red. Give me the white too.
Yeah, exactly.
Good fellas.
Yeah.
That's great.
But the point is, that's this show. So when we say layers, oh no, we don't just say that. We don't pull the Republican. Well, there's layers, but we don't ever specify what are those layers.
Yeah. No, I see.
Like, I love the Republican.
We're dissecting it right now.
When Donald goes, yeah, Doge has covered hundreds of millions of dollars. Like, all right, well, let's see the list. Oh, there's no list.
There's no list. Of course there isn't. Of course there isn't.
There's no list. And if they put something up there, they put something up there where the money was actually going to, so it's legit. They just didn't like the funding. That's waste. It's waste because you don't like it. Like Donald Trump trying to wipe out the Department of Education. Go look at what the Department of Education does.
Yeah.
Okay,
and
then tell me what planet is Donald Trump on where you think that's a good idea, if he actually cares about the people of this country.
Do you think go
look at that list.
Down?
How does that make this country
it's
great?
got to go through Congress.
How does this make Congress will not let this happen?
There's no way they let this happen.
Look at
it's
the tariffs.
Talk.
He's had to back off on the tariffs 3 times already. This pussy. He's such a.
He had to fire people and rehire them.
And rehire. Look at what this donkey has done in 6 weeks. And then look back at that speech on Tuesday night. If you're not laughing your ass off, you have no brain between your ears.
It was supposed to be a State of the Union, but I felt like it was a state of his campaign.
State of how great I am. A victory. It was a victory lap.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, really? Well, the economy's gone the wrong way. It's like, what are we celebrating at? Oh, the person that you got her son home 8 weeks ago? That's great. 8 weeks ago, that was great. What are you doing for me now?
Yeah.
Like, the people that told me that justified voting for this ass clown were saying 2 things: gas and groceries. Go look at them.
They really haven't changed.
They've gone up.
Yeah. Gas isn't too bad, but groceries is kind of ridiculous, man.
They have gone up or stayed the same.
Yep.
They haven't gone down.
Right.
And by the way,
we were supposed to have so much more money.
And again, it was your donkey president, the guy who said day one.
And now they're saying, oh, it's going to take time.
Yeah, first it was day one.
Yeah.
And now there might be a bit of a, what do you say on Tuesday night? A hiccup? Or a bit of a, but we're okay, we like that. We like that. Translation, I actually posted this meme. They go to a guy who's wearing a king hat, he goes, some of you may die.
Yeah.
But it's a risk I'm willing to take.
Yeah.
It's like, that's Donald Trump. That's so true. Some of you may die. But it's a risk I am willing to take.
Right.
Like, yeah, because they ain't going to be fucking his head on the chopping block when everything goes south. They're just blaming it on Biden. By the way, they're still blaming this on Biden.
Of course they are. Didn't they, the other night, there was a list of things that he said, and it was like 13 times he mentioned and hated
Joe Biden. When Joe Biden.
We're still beating up on Biden.
When Joe Biden left office.
Because, like I said, it was another campaign.
The economy was number 1 in the world. And unemployment was at 4%. Inflation was at 2.4, and gas was about at 2.95. Go look at where it is, all this shit is now, and tell me how this is Biden's fault. No, it was this donkey with his across-the-board slash and burn tariffs. He puts Elon Musk into power. He wipes out all these jobs, doesn't know what any of these jobs are about, which affects everyday necessity, like human life issue, like everyday, day-to-day. He just wipes them out with that stupid chainsaw. And then he's trying to hire, to your point, hiring them all back. Oh my God, what the fuck are we doing?
We actually need you.
Yeah. Oh, hey, donkey, if you're so fucking smart, why aren't you looking at the job description before you even talk about a decision on this? Mm-hmm. Slash and burn doesn't work when you're dealing with people. Okay? In a small bit like a business where it's not the 340 million fucking people.
Right.
You can slash and burn and most people won't notice. Because it just affects a couple of 100 people, maybe. Yeah. But when you do this in a country of 340 million people, what the fuck do you think is the ripple effect? And the fact that I know that and some of you don't is unbelievable. Okay, so that's common sense 101. That's without taking a history class. That's without taking a political science class. That's looking at who this donkey is. 34-time convicted felon. 34. 6 companies bankrupt. Six. I might add. 4 additional casinos bankrupt. By the way, what kind of a donkey?
That's why you can't get a license in Vegas.
How dumb do you have to be to bankrupt a casino? The house always wins.
House always wins.
Yeah. How did 4 of them go bankrupt with this donkey running the thing? Okay? That tells you the ego. After the first fuck up, you think you wouldn't let it happen 3 more times. But that tells you that this is Jerry Jones on steroids.
Yeah.
It's Jerry Jones on steroids. But bringing it back to sports. So anyway, it's a 109 in. I don't know. If you have anything else you want to add to that?
I think that's through the cherry.
We got a mic drop, I think.
That's it. Man.
Anyway, you got our all-time top 20 great. You fucking dispute it. You debate it. You ponder it. You let it.
I just want to see these 2 teams in the finals.
I will tell you right now. I would say right now.
Good for basketball too.
if Boston and LA were to meet this year, if you look at the storylines, LeBron going for his 5th, Boston trying to be the first team in 8 years to repeat, Luka trying to get revenge. I mean, the story like Jason Tatum trying to vindicate this, I'm the greatest. Look, the storylines on this would be everywhere.
Yeah.
You wouldn't have a hard time firing or advertising or promoting this series.
No.
I don't think you'd have a hard time.
Everybody watched.
I think the whole world would watch this series if it would happen. And I'm smiling because I think Boston would win, but I don't know if they're going to be healthy. I think they can beat LA on a given night without Porzingis. Can they beat LA 4 times without him? I don't know the answer to that after tonight.
We're going to give us 2 games.
I'm saying, can they beat LA 4 times before LA beats them?
Yep.
Without Porzingis, I don't know the answer. If they have Porzingis, I say yes. But if they don't have him, I don't know. And by the way, he missed 11 playoff games last season. Now they won it without him.
They were able to get it there. Yeah.
They won it without him, but their opponents were also injured. Mm-hmm. The odds of that happening again, where it's even like that, I don't know.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
I don't know. Cleveland, I'm pretty sure is going to be healthy. You got to be healthy. If Boston's healthy, I think they're the better team, but they got to be healthy. If it's the Knicks, it's the same thing. If they're healthy, they're better. But without Porzingis, I don't know.
Yeah.
So this is the thing. So with LA, I really think it comes down to who you draw.
Yeah.
Most of these
matchup,
teams don't have a dominant big man. Now, Boston beat him tonight, but Boston's different than most teams.
Yeah.
Because they don't, the big man, but you look at teams like Memphis and you look at teams like Denver, in a 7-game series where Denver can adjust, that guy can coach too, by the way.
Yeah, oh yeah.
That would be a hell of a series. Golden State with Jimmy Butler. Mm-hmm. You go watch them now.
Yeah.
That LA's not going to have an easy road either. I think LA can beat all these teams.
Yeah.
I want to be
7
fair
games.
here, but there's going to be some chess matches in here that to me could make this potentially great.
Yeah. It's
So
going to
anyway,
be great.
you guys ponder on that. We'll let you go for now. I will return, what's today, Saturday? It's Monday or Tuesday. The Redoubtable will be back in the hizzy. We'll see him next week for sure. We will have our Selection Sunday show because we're going to be Championship Saturday night.
It's going to be amazing.
It'll be amazing. And I'll tell you right now, the bracket's going to be on fire.
Can't wait.
But until then, boys and girls, for Law Dog, the Redoubtable One, being the good dad, Tom, the good dad, we love you, being the good dad. Highly questionable, and questionable as a father, too. We'll see you guys on the other side. You know the drill, soldier. Wait, no, that. Stay safe.